Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing a little bit of a different start to my carving video. This is one of my newest projects that we're going to do, and today we're going to do a very satisfying part, and that is adding a new color. And in this case it's going to be the top layer, and it's going to be black. So let me show you. This is the paint I'm using. It's the same one I use in white. I've got 35 layers of the white on here, and now we're going to add the top layers to finish it off. And I think it's going to need about 3 layers to be nice and black. And that's my first layer done. The second layer I'm going to do is going to be at a 90-degree angle, so up, and then I'm going to go from side to side, and then depending on how I like the finish, it might get a third or fourth coat. Let's let this one dry. It's going to dry for about 24 hours, and then when the final top coat is on, I'm going to leave it for about a month to cure before I start carving. We'll probably see the beginning of the setup in about a month. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're starting a new carving project. I already added a grid to my paper just to make it easier for me to make my design. This is going to be my center, and what I was thinking was to make a sea turtle outline with a earth map in his shield, is his home, and then do a mandala thingy on the outside. The board I'm going to be using is a black top with white underneath. I think I'm just going to start drawing. I've got some images on my laptop that I'm using as a reference just to make it a little bit easier. That's also why I'm using the grid, because it makes it easier to figure out how big or how symmetrical your drawing is. So let's just get drawing. So we're finally ready to transfer my design to my board. I taped my design on my board because I don't want it to move, because there's a lot of lines to do. I'm going to do the same process, so I just used my graphite pencil to follow the lines on the back of my design. Just hold it up to the window and you can see through the paper and you trace all the lines. And then you turn it right side back and put it on your board. So just to make sure it doesn't move, I taped it, and then I'm going to use a ballpoint pen and trace my lines, and when I'm done with that, it should be transferred to my board. Now, I'm a bit nervous about this one because my board is black. I did some tests on it. I tried some chalk on the backside of the transfer. It did work, but it rubbed off really quickly. So I'm going to try and do it with the graphite. If it doesn't work, I'll just wipe everything and try again. It took about a week to design this drawing. It has a special meaning for me. It's also what I'm feeling about the world at the moment, and I'm hoping to share this through this process. Let's do a little bit of the tracing together, and I think I'm just going to start with my little world map. And so I just go over the lines with my ballpoint, and I'm using a pretty sharp one. So the tip of this one is pretty fine, pretty narrow, and it gives a nice pressure point, but because it's a ballpoint and not a pencil, it rolls. So it's easier to trace without damaging the paper as much. So you just go over, make sure you give it a little bit more pressure than you would normally, because that will help the graphite that's on the paper. There's always a little bit of extra. And when you push on it, it will transfer. Normally, if you rub your fingers over the paper, it will transfer to your hand. So that transfer is now transferring to your board. So that's why I like this technique. It makes for me easier to do my designs on paper, so I can change them, use my eraser on them, and just be sure of what I want to put on my board, because it takes a long time to prepare. So I'm just going to do this and transfer my design, hopefully, to the board, and I'll get back to you when it's time to reveal this design on the board. So let's see if this worked. I'm hoping, because it took forever. Oh, thank goodness it did. You can see that if the light hits it, the lines reflect. So as you might see, I started to do some lines with my white pencil, and it's not working as I wanted because the graphite underneath is making it really hard for the white one to stick. I can actually see the graphite lines perfectly fine. So let's get on carving, but I want to show you something first. So I've got two carving tools. This is my old one, and this is the one I just got in. So this is the SD. It's perfectly fine. It's the cheapest I could find, and I started out carving with this one. And after months and months of waiting, I finally got my speedball one. It's 4 times as expensive. I only got one blade with it. It looks quite different. It's a lot longer and the tip is a lot smaller or narrower. Also the blade, pretty different, as you can see. It also has a different curvature to it. And the tip is, as you can see, the tip is quite small compared to my old one. So I'm really excited to see how this one works. They both are a number 1. So this is actually also the brand Hannah uses for her art. So I'm pretty excited to finally get to try it. So learning to carve with a new tool is quite challenging. So as you can see, my lines aren't that pretty, but I just need to go slow and I think we'll be fine. So I've got all my outlines done for a first pass. I've had a lot of trouble with skipping just because I'm not used to my new blade yet. What I wanted to do right now is carve my outlines of the world. And my idea of the world map is to first do the outlines and then cut the inside. So it's going to be all white and I'm gonna leave the rest black. So let me show you what I mean. I'm just going to be carving like so. Oh, somebody wants some attention. Hi little puppy. Hey, did you finish your food? Okay. I need to get this little one back down. So say hi to everyone. Now, okay, go. So I'm just going to I might change the direction of my cuts on the world map. So I might go this way, that way, just to give it a little bit more of a fun texture. So this is a close-up of the area I just did. And I'm just going to do this for the rest of the map on the tortoise's shell. So I just got enough light for today. I just wanted to do a little close-up carving. So I'm just doing the outline. I will be filling it in later. And then when it's all filled in, I go over the outline one more time to clean it up a little bit. So this pass I'm not going as deep as I would normally. So that's what I'm doing for the whole thing. Here we are. The world is all carved. I'm really happy about it because it reflects the sun different from every angle. So what I wanted to do starting from now is carve the rays of sunlight. These are these ones. And I'm going to tell you why. I want to carve these first because they're going to be white. And I want to see what the balance is going to be between the black and the white, how much white we're going to get with the rays of sunlight all carved, and if I want to carve the skin of the turtle the way I'm thinking I want to do it, or if I have to change it because there will be too much white. Actually, just gonna mark them. So you can see I'm going black, white, black. Those are going to be the ones that's going to be white. Let's start with this half. And I'm just going to try and make the lines all go the same direction. So just carving straight out. And I will be doing that for all the rays of sunlight. And then we'll get back to deciding what we want to lighten and what we want to keep dark. I've carved my rays of sunlight and I've decided that it needs a little bit more white. So what I'm gonna do is carve in between the little freckles on the tortoise's flipper. Let me tell you a little bit more about my design while I'm starting to carve on my flipper. I'm adding some white just to balance out the piece a little bit more. So let's start with the world map on the sea turtle's shell. The shell is its home and the earth is ours. The shell also protects, and that's what we need to do for the earth. We all carry that responsibility together. Then we have the waves. The waves go up and down, just like life. And under the stormy exterior there's a calm, even if we can't see it. Then we have the cloudy sky. The sky stands for air, and air stands for life. Also, the clouds are always coming and going. Even if we can't see it, the sun is always above. And the rays of sunlight represent hope. Also, there's darkness in between the light, because without the darkness there cannot be light. Without the bad, there cannot be any good. And those are my thoughts about my design and why I chose all these different elements. And I would love to hear your thoughts. What do these elements represent for you? Please leave your thoughts and your stories down below in the comments. I would love to read them. So I just wanted to show you a little update on the carving. So this is what the clouds used to look like. Just a single line. Nice and simple, but there was too much black. So what I did is I doubled the lines up and some even triple. So that's what I'm going to do with the rest of it. So I'm almost like halfway done. So I'm going to do this side. I really hope that this video shows you how I go through my process from an idea in my head, then drawing it on paper and finally carving it into the acrylic paint. If you have any questions, just leave them down below in the comment section and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye everyone!